What if I told you that history's greatest comeback story belongs to a woman society tried to erase? A woman who went from rock bottom to becoming the most important messenger in human history. If you've ever felt broken, written off, or judged for your past, this story will change everything you believe about second chances. But here's the thing, most people don't know the real Mary Magdalene. They've been fed lies for centuries. Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm about to reveal why Mary Magdalene is the ultimate patron saint of tough women, and why her story might be exactly what you need to hear right now. And trust me, the ending will give you chills. Hit that like button if you're ready for some truth. Picture this: Magdala, 1st century, a fishing town where everyone knows everyone's business. And Mary? She was the town's cautionary tale. 7 demons, that's what they called her struggles. But let's be real about what that meant. This wasn't some Hollywood horror movie. Mary was battling what we'd recognize today: severe depression, trauma, maybe addiction. She was fighting invisible wars in a world that blamed women for their pain. Imagine being so broken that mothers literally crossed the street when they saw you coming. Imagine being reduced to whispers and pointed fingers. That was Mary's daily reality. But here's what separates the warriors from the victims. Mary never stopped fighting. Hold up. Before I tell you about the moment that changed everything, I need you to do something. If you've ever felt like giving up, if you've ever been judged for your past, or if you know someone who needs to hear this story, smash that share button right now, because what happens next proves that your worst moment is not your final moment. Share this with someone who needs hope. Now, here's where it gets insane. Mary's at her absolute lowest when she hears about this carpenter's son teaching by the sea, Jesus of Nazareth. But this isn't your Sunday school story. This is about recognition. When Jesus looked at Mary, he didn't see her reputation. He didn't see her mistakes. He saw what everyone else missed: a warrior who had been fighting battles they couldn't comprehend. He saw strength disguised as brokenness. "Your faith has made you whole," he said. Just like that, the demons fled. Not because Mary was weak, but because she was finally strong enough to let them go. But this is where Mary's story gets revolutionary. She didn't just get healed and disappear into obscurity. No, Mary became part of Jesus' inner circle. She funded his ministry. She traveled with him. In a world where women were property, Mary Magdalene was an equal. Then came the darkest Friday in history. While the male disciples ran and hid, where was Mary? Standing at the foot of the cross, watching the man who saved her life die a brutal death. This is what real love looks like, people. Not the Instagram version. The kind that stays when staying breaks your heart. For 3 days, Mary mourned. The light of her world was gone, buried in a tomb, sealed with a stone that might as well have been on her chest. But Sunday was coming. Mary went to the tomb expecting death. Instead, she found an empty grave, and the impossible made real. Through her tears, she saw him, alive, transformed, radiant. "Mary," he said, one word, her name, and everything changed. Then Jesus gave her the assignment that would echo through history: go and tell the others I am alive. Mary Magdalene, the woman society had written off, became the apostle to the apostles, the first evangelist, the first to proclaim the resurrection. But here's why this matters to you right now, in 2025. Mary didn't just survive her story, she rewrote it. She turned her deepest wounds into her greatest weapons. She proved that God specializes in impossible transformations. Mary spent the rest of her life traveling the Roman Empire, telling anyone who would listen, "Your story isn't over. Your worst chapter is not your final chapter. The God who raises the dead can resurrect dreams, restore dignity, and rewrite any ending." Women flocked to hear her. Prostitutes and politicians' wives, slaves and CEO equivalents. They saw in Mary what you need to see in yourself: a sister who survived, who refused to let her past define her future. If this story moved you, if it gave you hope, if it reminded you that you're stronger than you know, I need you to do 3 things right now. Hit that subscribe button, because we're building a community of women who refuse to stay broken. Drop a comment telling me what you're rising from. Let's support each other. Share this video with every woman who needs to remember she's unbreakable. Saint Mary Magdalene, patron saint of second chances, comeback queens, and women who turn their mess into their message. She reminds us that resurrection isn't just a religious concept. It's a promise available to anyone brave enough to believe their story can be rewritten. Remember her name when you need courage. Remember her story when you need hope. And remember this truth she proved with her life. You are not defined by where you've been. You are destined by where you're going.